Also, some people that love the card game, some might blame him because he like inflated the market, I think, during COVID. But also, maybe it's a good thing if you're trying to make money on it. What is this guy doing? What? There's no way. What? Why would they stay in? What is in the back that this is worth staying in for? Okay, and it's Ice Punch. That's wild. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well, and I hope the end of the season is going well for you all. If you're looking for a final push team, I got you covered, because this team has skyrocketed me way past the legend rank area, and I've actually broken 3,300 somewhere, and I'm somewhere on the leaderboard now based on my battles, but I don't actually even know where I am on leaderboard because I literally climbed like 200 plus points in the past couple hours. So that being said, the team I'm using is pretty similar to another team I ran before earlier this season. I ran a Talonflame, Primeape, Diggersby team. Say Swap Primeape felt really strong, but I kind of struggled against certain matchups like Azumarill, some Water Lead, stuff like that. I decided to just make a very small adjustment to the team, and I threw in a Wigglytuff over the Talonflame. And it's made actually a pretty sizable difference. So the team, of course, is a Wigglytuff with a Primeape and Diggersby. I have two of my most recent sets, and by recent I mean like I literally finished them a couple minutes ago. I've hit my highest ELO this entire season with this team so far. So if you're looking for that final push, it's going to be team for you. Let's get into the footage. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. As you can see, most of my opponents have pretty high ELO as well, so expect definitely some really solid plays from them as well, and I'm going to just teach you all kind of how to play some of these matchups. I don't play these games perfectly by any means. These are two back-to-back sets. I went a little over 100 MG, but what I really want to do here is make it hard for my opponent to optimize their energy. And you could flip this in a two-shield situation, but because I already had to spend a shield, it's a little bit harder. However, if you land a close combat, boosted twice, you can actually karate chop down the Azumarill. So that's exactly what I'm going to attempt to do here, because I could potentially grab a shield back from the Drapion and maybe even two shields. In comes the Drapion, and I'm going to throw the Rage Fist, see what we can do here. I go for another one because I actually wasn't sure if I'd make it to the close combat. It's going to do a sizable damage because it's triple boosted, and they actually shield as well, so that's really, really nice for me. I have no idea what they have in the back at this point, but I did flip switch, grab both shields, pretty much even up the health, and it's actually going to be a Dewgong. Oh my goodness. Do you want to go, Chegs? I'll let you decide. Oh no, she's holding on to my arm. This is not the best matchup because Dewgong does beat the Wigglytuff in the two shield situation, but it's not the worst because as long as I get the Dewgong quite low and make it manageable, it's fine. I'm not really sure why a lot of Dewgong users actually throw the Icy Wind there. Maybe they're trying to get enough farm to get to my Diggersby, which actually is probably not a bad play at all. But I think if they just went for the draw one, I can't easily Fire Punch down, and they would actually get me almost into Aqua Tail range. I don't know. Hard to say. I haven't been playing Dewgong a lot, so maybe these players know more than me. That being said, we got a fantastic lead in this next game, and this is how you play out this matchup versus Shadow Drapion. You pretty much want to make sure that your one, you don't want to throw on Charge Attack priority here. They will get to that second Aqua Tail before you get to the Scorching Sand if they're safe swapping or counter swapping. Even if you're as fast as possible, you're going to always be behind the turn. But I always throw the Fire Punch first, because if they shield, you can shield as well. This person doesn't shield, so it makes my life a little bit trickier. And then now at this point, I know they get to at the same time, and I just don't really think it's worth spamming my final shield. I know my Primeape array has a lot of play. What I'm really worried about here at this point is I was worried about Toxapex or some type of poison. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, you go. I'm not sure she's not in the mood today. All right, so I do get to close combat though, and they actually shield, which actually surprised me a bit, and in comes the Toxapex. So that's why I didn't double shield my Diggersby, because I had a feeling that if I did, I was still going to get core broken from some type of poison. Dark double poison, a pretty classic ABB line, even if the poison or the dark type are a little bit different. So yeah, not the best. I'm going to go for the double close combat because close combat is going to be enough, and I don't think I get to enough moves anyway if I don't go for close combat. They end up catching on Guzzlord, which is fine because they had a move banked on it. So they don't end up getting throw the move. Unfortunately, close combat just not enough to KO from this range. I think I played it as best I could. The problem was I didn't really have another answer to Toxapex. So once the Diggers is drawn out, it's kind of tough. But if I bring in the Primeape, it's also really not a great matchup for me. So it's kind of hit or miss in terms of how you play that one out. But well played by my opponent for sure. Okay, against a Quagsire. And by the way, these are 2 back-to-back sets. I didn't cherry pick any of the battles. So you'll see it all. Wins and losses. Quagsire comes in. I like to shield there because sometimes a lot of things can just like take you out with fast attack pressure. So I don't always shield, but generally speaking, I do shield the Primeape, even if they go for a chip and dip. Like if they come in Wigglytuff or whatever, like it is what it is. But generally speaking, they don't have the best, strongest answer if they didn't come in right away. And now I'm going to pivot over to my Diggersby. And because I believe they are locked in, but their switch timer is probably going to be up pretty soon at this point. I go straight for the Scorching Sand because I don't really want to mess around. I know the Fire Punch is not going to be enough. They don't have shields either, so it's really no point in me actually going for that. And they quit out. I have no idea what they have in the back, but I'll say I'm pretty good about it because Quagsire is pretty much the main Diggersby counter, and because it was so low at that point, and I still had a shield, I figured it was going to be a good spot. Alright, another Shadow Drapion lead, or I don't know if it was the first one or the second one, but you see Shadow Drapion on almost every team. It's so strong right now, so definitely need to know how to play around that matchup. And again, I like to shield that first move, and of course, I did shield the Aqua Tail, making it harder for them to bubble me down. And again, I land the close combat, which is quite nice. I'm going to shield this up because it's going to play out just like the last one I was thinking, but no, this player, pretty smart heads up play, brings in the Drapion instead. Hard pivots over, shields my close combat. I probably could have baited there, but either way, I just want to get the guaranteed shield or take it out. But here's the problem. Because I wasn't able to Karate Chop down and they came in with Drapion, they are much more ahead on energy than the last time I was in this matchup. Because if the last time I was in this matchup, if you recall, I was able to take this out. They were also down a shield. But they charged that priority me on the Diggersby, which puts me in a much harder position. I think the better play is I just swap out there. In comes their own Diggersby, which all things considered is not terrible for my team, but the problem is I don't have any health on the Primeape. And Wigglytuff's not really great in the zero shield situation in this particular matchup. And they also got a decent amount of poison sting damage on me. So yes, I would love to get to a move here, but just not able to. And even if I Karate Chop this thing down, I think we probably go to a Simul KO. Yeah, so I'm way too low on health. I do get the Rage Fist off, but the problem is, unless they decide to come in a Zoom Roll and let me Karate Chop them down and then come in Drapion, at best I could hope for a tie. But they were actually not even within one Karate Chop range. So well played by them. As you can see, they played it a little differently than my previous opponent, and that small adjustment was able to make the difference. Alright, we run Toxapex lead, which is pretty awful. They don't even shield my potential close combat, which is pretty gutsy, but hey, props to them. They are going to shield the second one, and my goal at this point is to get double shields because I'm thinking they probably have a Diggersby counter in the back, so my best bet is to have a one shield advantage over whatever's in the back and maybe have some play there. If I land in close combat, this game would probably be over as well, but them not calling the potential close combat was also a really good play by them. And in comes the Toxapex, and it's actually a Guzzlord. So this is actually not too bad. I don't throw on great timing here, but I just want to potentially get a debuff if possible. Doesn't actually happen, which is a little unfortunate. But I think 2 Scorching Sands should probably be enough to take this out. And so that's what I'm going to go for right here. But I think looking back on it in hindsight, I probably should have just gone for proper timing. Because even if I debuff there, it's not like if they crunch debuff me, it doesn't really matter, right? My damage is still going to be the same. So I should have gone for the actual optimization. But luckily, it didn't punish me too much because I was able to still get to 2 of these Scorching Sands to take out the Toxapex. But not the cleanest place by myself, admittedly. And yeah, we're just going to finish it off with Wigglytuff. So overall, 3-2 on the first set. Nothing too crazy, but like I said, I was playing this team throughout the night, and I was climbing a lot with it. So that's the first set. It gets only better, second set, right? I didn't break 3300 by going negative in the second set. In comes a Talonflame safe swap, which is pretty annoying for me because I don't have anything that beats this. So that is kind of rough. But that being said, I can do a decent amount of damage with Quick Attack and Scorching Sand, even though it's resisted. So I don't mind this too much, because the main thing I'm thinking about is, as long as I have a shield advantage, the Primeape has to play into the Dragonite. They double shield here too, which is actually really good for me. And I come in with the Wigglytuff, even though it's resisted. The thing is, I'm probably not going to get the Wigglytuff on the Dragonite anyway. So I'd rather have them spend their energy on from the Talonflame on my Wigglytuff first, so I don't have to double shield my Primeape, right? The Wigglytuff is pretty much useless. My win condition here is to sweep with the Primeape. Maybe have a little shift damage with the Wigglytuff, but that's my main win condition in my opinion. I haven't seen the third Pokemon, but all I know is that I'm double boosted, which is quite nice. And then I do throw this move. And again, I don't really know what's in the back at this point. Ends up being a Ferrothorn, which is quite nice. Because I still get to this move and does a huge amount of damage given how boosted I am. At this point in time, I'm just going to throw the Swift. They're all well, I guess Ice Wind's not resisted, but I think by the time I get to it, I could have just charmed down with the Swift damage. And that's exactly what you get. That's exactly what we did. Charjabug. Not something you see very often these days, but I think it has a lot of play in this current meta. So I don't throw on the best timing here, but I just want to get the Swift damage off and then try to catch a Discharge, which I think I just did. So let's see if it is. Yep, very minimal damage, which is quite nice. Now, generally speaking, I don't save swap the Diggersby. I almost always save swap the Primeape, because there's a lot more play into stuff like Annihilape, right? You can draw a shield, but this person still shields, which is quite nice for me. And at the end of the day, you still accomplish kind of what you're going for, is drawing out the Annihilape so that your third Pokemon, which in this case is Primeape, can sweep. And luckily we get a debuff, so even if it's close combat, no big deal, because I know I can survive it. And then at this point in time too, they come in Charjabug. It actually doesn't take me out, so the charm damage goes through, which is really nice. And then in comes an Annihilape, and I'm just going to Cry Chop down. I have Energy Lead, I have even shields. This is pretty scary for anything coming into this, and sure enough, it was a Feraligatr. And I'm not even going to mess around there. You just got to go straight for close combat. I'm ahead on energy. I win Trademarked priority. There's no reason to bait in those situations. And the opponent played it well, right? Because their only win con is if I go for a bait. So a lot of times it's just recognizing these little decisions you make on like when it makes sense to bait, when not to really maximize on this team. This really sucks because unfortunately you don't get to 2 moves against the Wigglytuff. So I always throw the close combat right away. I do that because it gives them a little less farm, and the Karate Chop damage that I get a little less of is not really worth giving them more energy. But Dewgong lead is really annoying for me because I'm kind of weak to it in the back. So I kind of need my Wigglytuff for it. But they actually did a really great pivot over to their own Dewgong to catch the Swift damage. So not ideal for me. And I think at this point too, I do shield. I guess I want just the farm down, and so I have the Swift for the Wigglytuff in the back. Because taking out their Wigglytuff is actually not going to be easy by any means. Unfortunately, my switch timer is not up, so this is actually really bad for me. And I don't know how to move either, but I think I would have lost charge check priority. I'm pretty sure Diggersby's pretty bulk weighted, but so is Wigglytuff. Yeah, this one I'm just hoping, maybe it's a Shadow Drapion on the back, a double Scorching Sand and win, but not the case. Guzzlord. Pretty interesting team because they're ABA weak to fighting, but I guess that's a gamble to take, and does core break a lot of things like my team in the back. So yeah, it worked out for them, but pretty gusty team in my opinion. All right, they come in Licky. I actually thought this was a Dunsparce. I just reacted pretty quickly here, mainly because I don't usually, coming into normal types with Primeape is not the easiest because a lot of times you have to give up a shield. And I really don't want to give up a shield. If it was a Dunsparce, Miltank, I'm in a pretty good spot. Miltank's a little bit weird with Ice Beam, but most people aren't really running Miltank. Most people aren't really running Licky, but this player is. And with the debuff, it's actually quite nice what I've set myself up for. And then they actually come in with a Feraligatr. And at this point in time, too, I'm pretty comfortable because I at least resist the damage there. And I have a shield advantage now, so because of that, I can safely just go straight close combat. Because if they shield, I maintain switch advantage. There's nowhere for this Annihilape to go, but I'm a Wigglytuff. I do go straight for the close combat, and it makes sense that they don't shield because they know they're going to get outpaced because I still have another shield, and I win charge priority, all that stuff. I'm going to come in Wigglytuff, and again, I don't really think it's worth shielding the first attack. You should survive it unless you have like a really weird stat product Wigglytuff. I got that charm through, so now it's worth shielding because the damage procs at least, and then there's just nothing to do with the Licky Licky. And for our 10th and final battle of this back-to-back set, we face a really bad Core Breaker. Like I said, nothing really beats this on the team, straight up. 2 shield Primate does, but that's about it, and I'm behind on energy, so it's not really easy, and I'm stuck against Annihilape, so it's pretty bad. That being said, we could grab their shields. And the thing is, they don't know that I'm weak to Talonflame in the back. So what I really want to do is grab both their shields and then put them in a 0 shield situation. And that's exactly what happens here. And now I'm going to come in Wicked Tough. Why? Because I can at least throw neutral Icy Wind at it, right? Whereas Resisted Fire Punch, Resisted Scorch Stand, it's not great. And I don't want to give the Annihilape too much extra energy. At this point in time, it's pretty low, so even my Diggersby can handle it. But yeah, so we at least get the Icy Wind, which does a decent amount, and a slight attack drop. I still have to watch out for the potential Brave Bird, though, so I am going to respect this first move here, because I'm just worried that I just need more health in the back end. And in comes the Annihilape. I do catch a move, which is quite nice. It ends up being close combat, too, which means that it's even easier to farm down this Annihilape. Maybe I want more energy, I don't know, but I don't think I really needed more energy. I think I just need to preserve as much health as possible. And then in comes a Wigglytuff. This is kind of weird, because the last time when I was on the outside of things, I couldn't really win the matchup, but I have way less health on my Diggersby. But that extra energy from farming down that Annihilape really came in clutch, and what way to end it off. Don't matter if they core break you. Doesn't matter if you lose lead, lose counter swap. You can win with this team, and that's exactly what I did, hitting over 3300s. So I know there's not a lot of time left in Go Battle League this season, but I know a lot of people are probably still making that final push. Whatever the rank you're trying to go for, whether you're trying to hit Legend, Expert, Veteran, whatever it is for the first time or many times, best of luck, and hopefully this team will get you there. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. I tried, but there's always next season, I guess. But we want to hopefully end it on a good note. I'm pretty happy with how mine ended, so hopefully it goes well for you all as well. Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content. Hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video. And I'll catch you all in the new season. Peace.